It's the Shatkin First Down pregame show, presented by Northtown Automotive, with your host, Rich Gaenzler, featuring Jared Shatkin, and our special guest, Bills alum Will Wolford. Now, from Sorrentino's in Williamsville, here's your host, Rich Gaenzler.
Welcome to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show, live from Sorrentino's on Main Street in Williamsville. I'm Rich Gaenzler, brought to you by Northtown Automotive, and we have a jam-packed show for you today as the 5-5 Colts are at Highmark Stadium taking on the Bills at 6-3, about 45 degrees and clouds, about 25 minutes from here out in Orchard Park. We're going to talk about the game and our final segment, so let's go backwards. The Huddle. We welcome in friends of ours from the 11-day Power Play, a Guinness Book of World Records event, where they broke and are about to get it again, the world record for the longest hockey game ever played, raising money for some great local charities. We'll talk to some of those guys coming up in the Huddle, get their takes. Tino's Dough as part of our 2-minute drill. We'll also talk to 3-time Pro Bowler and 7 years protecting Jim Kelly's blind side. Will Wolford is our Bills guest today, but we start things off with Jared Shatkin talking about really a great prescription for wellness, if you will, with the Bills beating the Jets 45-17. Jared, what were your thoughts on the big win?
Hey, Rich. Yeah, thank you very much. I thought something very similar. I thought it was exactly what we needed. I mean, Josh Allen was able to go for 366 yards, and our offense was able to boom, having big passing plays to Stephon Diggs, big passing plays to Gabe Davis. You know, we're getting some new players involved. We see Isaiah McKenzie with the TD, Matt Breida with the receiving touchdown. I mean, after that Jaguars game, it's pretty much exactly what we needed.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You brought up Steph Diggs, and let's talk a little bit about him. Finally, the Bills, it seemed, opened up the playbook a little bit. He gets that big 57-yard catch on basically the double move and go. Gorgeous throw, perfect throw from Josh Allen to him. And, of course, the touchdown when they picked on the backup defender. We talked about this after the Bills win over Miami a couple of weeks ago when the Bills, with Beasley, picked on their nickel corner. Well, they go sub on the back end of the Jet defense, and immediately the Bills go right after that guy.
Yeah, I mean, they ran the same play twice in a row. First time Stephon Diggs was out of bounds, second play, same play. Diggs makes an acrobatic catch, touchdown, and that's exactly what you do if you're a better team. You pick on the team's backups and you score a touchdown. And Stephon Diggs is a superstar in this league, and he showed why he was on Sunday.
You also mentioned Gabe Davis. I loved what he did in the run game. That usually gets unsung when it comes to receivers. It's all about, you know, his 3 catches for 105 yards and the toe drag with the catch off of the tip ball down near the goal line. But I'll tell you what, in the run game, I thought he was incredible, and he really sprung some big runs on the outside with blocks there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I love the way our team was able to be even offensively. We were able to run the ball and get a good mix there. And yeah, Gabe Davis had a really nice, selfless game, and he was rewarded with 3 catches for 105 yards, that awesome acrobatic catch. But he was able to break guys outside like Matt Breida and Singletary. Singletary had about 6.5 yards of rush. And, you know, Breida's a new player who had about 6.5 yards of rush. And, you know, those guys were sprung by some good run blocking from the wide receivers. Absolutely.
And how about the offensive line? What can Brown do for you, right? Spencer Brown comes back at right tackle so they can move Darrell Williams inside to guard. I mean, pass pro was absolutely better than it was the previous week. You noticed that. Also, he had the incredible pancake block on Breida, springing him for his touchdown run. Talk a little bit about Spencer Brown.
Spencer Brown was exactly what we needed. And it's funny because he goes down versus Jacksonville, and I thought to myself, well, this guy going down shouldn't make us lose a game. And then you see Josh Allen on Jacksonville get sack after sack and get pressure after pressure. And then you put Spencer Brown back in there. And yeah, maybe the Jets defensive line is a little worse than the Jaguars, but Spencer Brown really held it down on that right side.
Yeah, clean pocket for sure. Of course, defensively, we haven't even really touched on that. You know, the 5 takeaways from the 5 different DBs, the forced fumble and fumble recovery from Micah Hyde, and then the picks for the other 4 DBs. Pretty incredible stuff. First time that's happened since 1967.
4 picks for 4 different players. I mean, you have Mike White going in there all cocky because he had one good game against Cincinnati, thinking he's going to go hero mode against the Buffalo Bills. And we have the #1 scoring defense in the league for a reason. I thought the game plan by Leslie Frazier was awesome. I thought players stepped up, like A.J. Klein, who stepped in for Edmonds when Edmonds was out. I actually think A.J. Klein played an awesome game. And the first play of the game, he almost picked the ball, and he was just very instinctual and very good. And obviously in the back, you got Poyer, you got Hyde, you got White. and you have those guys who every single game, it seems like they make a different play, and it makes it difficult on the receivers. And, even that Corey Davis catch, it's a nice play from the Jets, but guess what? Micah Hyde goes in there, ball hawk, strips the ball, and momentum's back on our side almost immediately. So, yeah, the defense really gets credit for that game.
Sure, and the defense we put to the test today, of course, with Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, Carson Wentz is having a nice year. We'll touch on the keys to the game coming up a little bit later with you, Jared, so stick around, all right? Coming up next, Will Wolford is our Bills guest, 3-time Pro Bowler, twice during the Bills Super Bowl run. He will join us right after this as we continue with the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associates Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
Finding the perfect used car can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack. At Northtown, we make it simple with a focus on certified pre-owned. When you see the certified symbol from the official vehicle manufacturer, you know the vehicle has passed a rigorous inspection and comes with extra benefits like a manufacturer warranty and roadside assistance. To find the best value and peace of mind, head to Northtown. Northtown Certified Vehicles, an official partner of the Buffalo Bills.
Your kitchen is the heart of your home, so make it what you've always wanted.
Empire Granite Marble Quartz has everything you need to start your kitchen countertop makeover, all within your budget. Offering 24 months, 0% financing for a limited time. Empire has the largest indoor full slab showroom in Western New York, so visit the showroom today.
Make your dreams a reality with luxury you can afford.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show from Sorrentino's and Main Street in Williamsville. Bills and Colts coming up. We're joined now by a guy that protected Jim Kelly's blind side for 7 years, 3-time Pro Bowler, twice for the Bills, once for the Colts. Even did radio for the Colts when his career was over, played for the Steelers for a little bit as well. We're joined now by Will Wolford of the show. Will, great to see you, man. How are you?
Never better. Very happy to be here.
Happy to have you. Let's talk a little bit about your career, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when I was looking you up, preparing for this interview, I saw a trading card of you wearing number 73 with the Bills. Was that right?
Yeah, I wore 73 for my first 2.5 years in the league, I believe. And then a couple games getting holding penalties in a row after going about 30 straight games without getting any. I said, you know what? I feel like I'm being targeted here. So I changed my number. And went back to 69, which I wore in college, which was not available when I first got in the league.
Let's talk a little bit about when you played with the Bills. And let's talk about, they talk about quarterbacks taking care of their O-line. How was Jim Kelly for you back in the day?
Jim was good. Jim took us to dinner a lot, gave us gifts at the end of the year. Now the payoffs were going to be pretty good.
It was pretty rare that you gave up a sack, but when you did, and keep it clean if you would, what's the worst thing Jim Kelly ever said to you in the huddle after that might have happened?
I don't think he ever said anything, to be honest with you. He knows. What was that going to make the situation any better? and sometimes when Jim was sacked, he knew it was his fault. Yeah. So it's not always the lineman's fault. When the team wins, we seem to give all the credit to the skill guys. When the team loses, it's real easy to blame the lineman. Same thing when there's a bad play. You just kind of grin and bear it. But no, I gave up plenty of sacks in my career. Nothing's perfect. But he knew I was out there battling just like he was.
There were so many egos, obviously, on that team, so much talent. What was it that kept you from, at any point over those 4 Super Bowl years, from fracturing as a group?
We had many years to build that team together. That team really came together in 86 and 87. So we had a number of years of becoming good friends on and off the field, spending a lot of time together, becoming a family. A lot of guys did live in Buffalo year-round. I did. I lived there year-round. Jim did.
You played, obviously, with Bruce Smith, but in your day, gosh, you were forced to block. I'm sure at some point you had to block Reggie White. You had to block Charles Haley. You had to block LT. Who for you was the toughest pass rusher for you to block during your career, if you can nail it down to just one guy?
I don't think I can nail it down to one guy. I mean, Bruce, when I left, it was always very weird and difficult to play against Bruce. And obviously his career speaks for itself. You know, he's truly the best of the best. Reggie White kind of fits that category, but he was on the other side. So I didn't really play against Reggie except for the Pro Bowl. But the guy that gave me the most problems very early in my career, I guess because I was young, and two, he was a great player, was Joe Klecko for the Jets. Joe was just a throwback. He's only about 6'2", 260, but he's incredibly strong and quick, smart. Didn't say much to the media, so he probably didn't get the credit that he deserves. But to this day, I think he's the only defensive lineman to make the Pro Bowl at nose tackle, defensive guard, and defensive end. So the whole time that Gaenzler was running around doing sack dances, Klecko was being double teamed because he was an automatic double team. But that guy was a true beast. And how he's not in the Hall of Fame is kind of stupid. He should be in there.
You played with Frank Reich, obviously. He's now the head coach of the Colts. When you played with him, based on sort of his analytical nature and his leadership skills and ability, was it kind of a no-brainer that everybody kind of thought that this guy was eventually going to be a coach?
I believe so, yeah. Frank was always the smartest guy in the room. He was always class and character 24/7. He talked it and walked it. And you just knew he would be a great coach if he ever decided to do it. It took him about 10 plus years to get into it. When I was doing radio for the Colts is when he started kind of as just an intern for a year or two, and then gradually worked his way up the ladder. But no, I'm glad he finally got into coaching because I know coaching's easier said than done. I mean, it's a heck of a commitment. But you always knew he would be so good at it, and he is. I mean, the Colts are playing well. And it's great to see Frank have that kind of success.
So let's talk about this game today, the Bills and the Colts. Give me a quick breakdown, and then if you would, what you think the score is going to end up being.
I think it's going to be a heck of a game. They're a very different team. The Colts come in with a mindset that they're going to run the ball maybe every single play, and the Bills are kind of opposite of that. I think both defenses are very good. Buffalo's defense is outstanding. The Colts defense can play a little bit too. I think you're looking at two of the best teams in the AFC. The Colts' record isn't that great, but they caught Seattle at the very beginning when they were good. They caught the Rams when the Rams were playing good. They've already played the Titans twice. So I think it's going to be a heck of a game. I'm glad the Bills are at home. I know the Bills were playing better after last week, but I think they'll roll off of having such an embarrassing game 2 weeks ago.
All right, Will Wolford. Hey, we thank you so much for your time. We thank you for your incredible play when you were here in Buffalo. And I know you keep really close ties to hear everything that goes on in Buffalo. We appreciate you coming on the show today.
I wish I was coming to the game this week, but I can't make it. No, I love coming back to Western New York. It's awesome.
All right, Will Wolford, thanks so much. All right, coming up next on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show, we get the huddle together. We're joined by some gentlemen from the 11-day power play. That's up next.
Okay, you guys, let's see what you got. Yeah, lucky shot. Hey, that wasn't fair. I wasn't ready. Is that all you got? You shoot like a bunch of kids. Really? Uh-oh. Hey, oh my gosh. Okay, you win. So where are all you winners going to have dinner tonight?
Russell's, of course.
Be my guest and let us do the rest.
Finding the perfect used car can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack. At Northtown, we make it simple with a focus on certified pre-owned. When you see the certified symbol from the official vehicle manufacturer, you know the vehicle has passed a rigorous inspection and comes with extra benefits like a manufacturer warranty and roadside assistance. To find the best value and peace of mind, head to Northtown. Northtown Certified Vehicles. An official partner of the Buffalo Bills.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show from Sorrentino's on Main Street in Williamsville. I want to thank Will Wolford for coming on. We're now in the huddle, as you can see. Right now, as we speak, down at Riverworks in downtown Buffalo, there's a little event going on called the 11-day power play. Pretty remarkable. 4 years ago, 40 guys skated for upwards of 250 hours straight to break a Guinness Book of World Records record. Well, 3 of the original 40 are here with us to talk a little bit about the event and, of course, to get some of that Bill's expertise. And, of course, a little bit later in this segment, we're going to go to the 2-minute drill and play for Tino's Dough. Some trivia questions where Tino's gift cards, Sorrentino's gift cards, are up for grabs. So let's introduce you to these guys. First, John Condren. John, thank you, obviously, for being part of the 11-day power play, and welcome to the huddle and to the show.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about what causes charities the 11-day power play benefits.
Well, Roswell Park is a primary beneficiary, and Camp Good Days and Make-A-Wish Foundation, and then recently the Children's Oshai Blood Disorders Program. So there are 4 primary beneficiaries. I
want to ask you what it's like preparing for 250 hours on the ice.
It was a lot. It was a pretty heavy lift. It was the physical aspects of it. It was the fundraising. It took several months, and it was a lot of work.
11daypowerplay.org, by the way, if you want to make a donation, if you want to go down and volunteer, be part of it, just root on the guys that are there. They're doing it as we speak in downtown Buffalo at Riverworks. Let's move on to Mac Hartman. Mac, thanks for being here. Thank you again for being part of the original group. When you're doing the 11-day power play, when you're part of those 11 straight days playing hockey, what's that middle of the road like? When you're at your day 5, your day 6?
That's a great question.
What's going on in between the years?
It's a great question because you start off with a lot of energy. Everybody's there, you're pumped up and you're flying. But as you move that halfway point, mentally it becomes very, very challenging. And in all honesty, it kind of starts to suck a little bit. You're out there, you keep going, you lose track of time. You're not sleeping real well, you're kind of anxious to make sure you make your shift. But then there's that point in the middle and you see that halfway point and then it starts to feel really good again. It lightens up, you have a good time and realize why you're there and what you're working for, and it all finishes off real strong.
I'm going to ask you about Bill's score prediction in a second. Mike Spino's here too. Now Mike, explain to people, so you guys aren't technically on the ice for 250 straight hours because there's 40 guys. You go in shifts. So talk a little bit about how that worked.
Well, the shifts themselves for the first power play, we did 4-hour shifts, 4 hours on, and then usually you would potentially be 4 hours off, the 6 hours off, then you would be back on for another 4 hours. Some of the guys got a couple extra shifts during that period. Literally, you're on the ice for you would have an hour shift. You'd probably be out there total time, each individual, for about 45 minutes. You have a Zamboni come out, you'd be back out for another hour, and you'd only have, at that time, one sub. So you're pretty much on the ice the whole period of time during that shift.
I was going to say, you guys all played for somebody generally, right? When it came right down to it, you were playing in honor of someone typically. So for you, when the final horn went off, how emotional was that you had completed this, you had broken the world record? What was that like?
Oh, it was super emotional. I mean, that last hour we were all playing together. It's a moment that I'll never forget. And when we were all done, I mean, the hugs, everyone's just hugging each other. You've been through a lot for 11 days. Everything's hurting. Everything hurts for weeks and weeks after. And it's unbelievable, like the feeling. It's like no other feeling. And I have children. I'm not going to say it was better than that, but it gets up there,
Leland Smith is with us, too. Not part of the 11-day power play. He just happened to be sitting at the bar, and we needed a fourth for the huddle.
Happy to contribute.
Thank you for doing this. But you did something similar, the Spartan Run, which is really remarkable. Very quickly, how about that? I mean, that's something you got to train real hard for. It's really difficult.
You had to train about 6 weeks, and there are still obstacles that you can't get over. But going through it, powering through the pain, that really makes you feel good at the end.
Sure, of course. All right, guys, around the table real quick. Score, John, for today's game, Bills Colts.
35-17 Bills.
All right, Mac.
31-10 Bills.
All right, Mike.
I was going with 34-16 Bills.
And Leland.
27-24 Bills.
All right, we all like the Bills. Good, excellent. Let's get to the 2-minute drill now. And time for Tino's Dough, guys. $10 up for grabs with this first trivia question. These are all about Frank Reich, of course, former Bill, now Colt head coach, and you guys are playing as a team. It's a huddle, okay? Question number one, $10 up for grabs. How many points did the Bills trail by in the comeback game? How many points?
35.
No.
I was going to say 38.
Close. It's 32. They were down 35-3.
Wow, I thought it was 38-3.
Yeah, they were down 35-3 when the comeback. That's okay.
Yeah.
Question number two about Frank Reich. Here we go. His first coaching job was with the Colts. Will Wolford actually kind of alluded to it as sort of an intern, right? Who was the head coach? He's in the Hall of Fame now of the Colts at that time. Think mid-2006, 7, 8.
Tony Dungy.
Tony Dungy, Leland, for $25 for the team. Well done. And the final one. This is my favorite trivia question we've asked yet. Frank Reich threw the first touchdown pass, believe this or not, in Carolina Panther history to one of his former Bill teammates, tight end. Take a guess. Who did he throw to for that first touchdown pass? Former Bill tight end, played with him on the Super Bowl teams.
I was saying Metzler.
Metzler is absolutely right. Way to go, Mike.
Well done.
Well done.
You guys saving the team.
Yeah. Well done. Let me pass out the gift cards while we're here. Let's get that all taken care of. There it is. Guys, thanks for being part of the huddle. 11daypowerplay.org for more information on the 11-day power play at Riverworks going on now. All right, coming up next, our keys of the game. We welcome Jared Shatkin back as we continue with the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show next.
I am so happy with my experience that I had at I Smile Spas today. Got my teeth professionally whitened. I have months of results in less than an hour. No pain, seriously not even a sting. They're not sensitive. You leave with a kit to continue your whitening. Absolutely incredible. I'm so happy I ever did this. I can't stop smiling.
Western New York. Smile again with confidence. Call 43-SMILE today.
Family is the most important to us above everything else. 34 Group is a general construction company.
We had a part in rebuilding the community. We choose Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York because they are reliable.
It's just great coverage, and we have a great relationship with the folks at Highmark. We want our legacy to just be that we were good people that loved our community.
It is definitely a love affair, I can tell you that right now.
Finding the perfect used car can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack. At Northtown, we make it simple with a focus on certified pre-owned. When you see the certified symbol from the official vehicle manufacturer, you know the vehicle has passed a rigorous inspection and comes with extra benefits like a manufacturer warranty and roadside assistance. To find the best value and peace of mind, head to Northtown. Northtown Certified Vehicles. An official partner of the Buffalo Bills.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin with today's Shatkin First Down Injury Report. Let's start offensively with tackle Spencer Brown going on the COVID-19 reserve list this week. So the question is, who's going to fill that role? Darrell Williams, Ryan Bates, or Cody Ford? It's another O-line shift, and we know what that did to us versus Jacksonville. Thankfully, the Indy pass rush isn't one of their strengths. Cole Beasley is still dealing with his nagging rib injury, so we'll have to see how serviceable he will be today. Defensively, Star Latulele was on the COVID list again this week, and Captain Tremaine Edmonds spent time on the injury list again this week with a hamstring. Matt Milano was also limited to practice with a shoulder. They'd love to have them both in the starting lineup, but expect A.J. Klein, after an excellent Jets game, to step in at some role. For more on the game, let's get back to Rich and Jared.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show brought to you by Northtown Automotive. I'm Rich Gaenzler back at Sorrentino's on Main Street in Williamsville. The 5-5 Colts are here in Buffalo taking on the Bills at 6-3. Big conference game, especially with the Patriots and the way they've played throughout the years. So this is a big game. I know people think, well, it's out of division, but it's a big conference game between these two teams. And remember, we bring Jared Shatkin in here. Last year, back in January, the Bills and Colts met right here in Buffalo in a playoff game where the Colts had the ball with 2.5 minutes left and a chance to win that game. But of course, the Bills would stop them at their own 47. Hail Mary from Phillip Rivers into the end zone, knocked away by Micah Hyde. The Bills walk out of there, fortunately, with a 27-24 victory, and you know what happened going from there. But let's talk, Jared, to you about some of the keys to this game. Obviously, the Colts, like the Bills, don't have a lot of quality wins. They've beaten up on some bad teams. They played Tennessee relatively close. In fact, they lost to Tennessee the same score that the Bills did, 34-31. So what do we expect to see from the Colts in this game today, and what do the Bills have to worry about and do to win?
I do believe the Colts are a way better team than the 6.5-point favorites that the Bills are getting at home. I think the Colts have a lot of really, really nice players, and they're well coached. So I think this is going to be a tight game. Carson Wentz is starting to play well. The Colts running game is starting to play really well. So the Bills just have to be able to execute their game plan and be able to attack the Colts where they're weak.
Where they're weak is in the secondary. They have given up a league worst 23 passing touchdowns have the Colts. So for me, and I think, Jared, you would agree, sick on that, right? I mean, let the dogs loose in terms of Davis and Beasley and Diggs and Sanders and whoever else you want to throw into the mix. Dawson Knox in the backs, Breida. Take advantage of that situation.
I think this game, our passing game is going to be our running game. I think Beasley for 6 yards is going to be our running game. I think Matt Breida maybe on a couple screen plays will be our running game. I think you're just not going to be able to run up against this Colts front. Just abandon the run right away so you don't have to do this little song and dance that we've been doing the last 2 weeks where we try to get the running game going.
You mentioned Carson Wentz, 17 touchdowns, just 3 picks. They don't give the ball away. In fact, the Colts are plus 11. The Bills are plus 14. They're pretty good in giveaway, takeaway. But let's talk a little bit about who Wentz is going to throw to. Michael Pittman has 55 catches. Here's some perspective. Stephon Diggs has 56. The running backs, for me, concern me out of the backfield. Who covers them, right? Is it Milano? Is it Taron Johnson? Is it safety? What do you think?
I think Milano has to be the guy who steps up, and I think maybe you have to have Poyer or Hyde be a spy on these running backs because they really are great players out of the backfield. And then Michael Pittman, it's going to be a battle with Tre'Davious White, but you have a guy like Tre'Davious White, you got to trust that he's going to win some of those, and it's just going to be a battle for sure. It's going to be a well-coached, it's going to be a hard-fought game.
Jonathan Taylor is 63 yards away from 1,000, averages nearly 6 yards a carry, but the Bills only give up 4 yards a carry, 3.8 to be exact, on the ground. That's going to be a good matchup. Quick score prediction, Jared.
I think it's going to be a close game. I'm picking Buffalo to still squeak away with the win, 24-20.
I'm going to go 34-30. Jared, great job as always again today. Thanks to our 11-day Power Play friends who are part of the huddle today. Thanks, of course, to Sorrentinos here on Main Street in Williamsville, Will Wolford, and you, plus our entire team from the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. And thank you for watching. We'll be back next week. Go Bills! The Bills and the Colts coming up within the hour. This has been the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. We'll see you next week at noon right here on WBBZ.
If you would like to be a participant in the Shatkin First Down Huddle, email Mark Aarons at maarons@shatkinfirst.com. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.